All these meetings and workshops?
Yeah, free MetroCard! Free MetroCard! MetroCard!
Just a little of your time. Let it be. Oh, let it be.
Where are we? What's going on?
Who are you people?
Where are you from?
Where are you?
Are you guys humans?
Who are you?
Who are these people there? Hello? Hello? Deshaun! Anastasia! Come on, guys! Sabrina! Come on, guys! Where are we?
Welcome. This is Queensborough Community College. I'm Freddie, ASAP student and ASAP ambassador. This is ASAP.
A what? I kind of been dead for a while, so I don't know what ASAP is or whatever.
Yeah, no, I can see that part, but where are you from now?
We are from Walker Island, from the planet of Earthia.
Right. So, why are you here?
Guys, Deshaun, can you explain?
Well, we did get stuck through a black hole and ended up here. I mean, we're just trying to figure out what this place is and who you weird people are.
Right. Alright. Sure. So, how about this? How about I just show you? I can't wait for our student, or my student manager, to meet y'all.
So you always have to check your courses for prerequisites and co-requisites when you're making your graduation plan. Oh, Freddie. How you doing? Are you okay?
Maybe.
Who are these people with you?
Well, these...
My name is Sabrina. I'm a high school graduate from Earthia. I'm Sam. I'm with her.
I'm Anastasia.
And I'm Deshaun.
Hi, nice to meet you.
What is this?
Call this a handshake.
Handshake?
Handshake.
Handshake. What's that? Handshake.
So, why don't you come on in? If you're interested in learning about ASAP, we'll be glad to have you. Going over a few things right now.
The Islamic students like this cause of trouble.
Grab a seat.
Who said I'm interested? This meeting looks like the one back at ECC in this program called CASA. This meeting looks like a waste of time. Yeah, and I heard they make it come to like 20 meetings a month.
And they make you pay for all your textbooks, and I hear these guys really don't have your back.
Yeah, let's tell these humans more bad stuff.
Hell no, bro. I cannot believe this. This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah, 20 meetings a month? I didn't know it was going to be like this. I don't think I can handle it.
What if the zombies say it's true? I'm in trouble. The professors here don't care. What? And I'm to attend workshops too? And if I don't attend one with the meeting, they're going to kick me out ASAP?
Yeah, so many workshops. Workshops about time management, study skills, how to create your resume. I mean, who would want that?
No, I didn't think it was going to be like this. I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, this is why joining ASAP is a bad idea. All these meetings and workshops, the only good thing about ASAP is the free MetroCard.
Yeah,
Free MetroCard! Free MetroCard!
MetroCard!
Free MetroCard! Free MetroCard!
Everybody settle down. Settle down. Let me tell you what ASAP is really about. It's more than just a free Metro card.
More than just a free Metro card? What's
Yeah.
better than a free unlimited Metro card?
No, that's true. The Metro card is a huge benefit. It's unlimited use. It's good 24/7. Good for the entire semester. You do have to be respectful with it. I want to just remind you, you can't lend it out. You can't swipe for other people, and don't lose it. You have to treat it like cash. All right? It will not be replaced. But there's a lot of other benefits to be a part of ASAP. You get something called priority registration as well. So next semester, when you're registering for your classes, If you need a particular schedule because of work or because you have responsibilities at home, you'll have a day or two before the entire campus to go through and pick out your classes and say, oh, you know what, I really like that professor on Tuesdays. You know, I'm going to take his class. You've got it. Or that Monday, Wednesday class that runs from 9 to 11. That's going to fit my schedule perfectly. Sign me up. And you won't have to worry about not getting the classes that you want. There are other benefits as well. You get a textbook stipend of $500 a year minimum. Actually, this semester it's going to be $315 because they found a little extra money. And they know that textbooks aren't cheap, so they kind of throw it in the textbook fund for you guys. What else do you get? You're going to get access to ASAP designated classes. So instead of sitting in a big lecture hall, where if you're all the way in the back and you're raising your hand saying, oh, professor, can you please answer my question? If the professor doesn't see you, you're not going to have your question answered. You're going to have much smaller classroom sizes so that it's much more like a conversation with your professor, and you'll learn a lot easier. But most importantly, you'll also have a student manager that you're going to meet with at least once a month, twice a month to start with. And that's a person whose job it is to help expedite your graduation. They're going to make sure that all your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted. They're going to answer any questions that you have and make sure that everything goes smooth for you. They're going to be with you from the first day that you start on campus, right through to your graduation.
There has to be a catch, right? I mean, this can't be real. I think this is a scam.
Yeah, this is too good to be true.
Yeah, a scam.
No, it's not a scam. We get funding to help students go through college and make sure that they graduate. We offer a variety of choices for you to be able to pick from so that you can excel in college. We have things like the ASAP Club that you can join and start networking with your peers. When you graduate college, you're not going to want to just graduate and you're done, right? You're going to look for a job. So you can start meeting people now, networking, and start figuring out like, hey, you're in a similar major than mine. Oh, when you find a job, when you get out of school, if it's a decent one, talk to me. Or you never know, even if they're not in your major, they might have an uncle that works in IBM. Now, you being a computer science major, if you have a contact like that who knows somebody who works over at IBM, you can have access to a job that other people might not be aware of. Or if you're a chemistry major and one of your friends has a cousin that works in Pfizer, well, that's another contact that you can have. There are other services that we offer at ASAP as well. We have a career and employment specialist, Mr. Atkins. So when you're looking for a job, you want to make sure that your resume and cover letter is all brushed up, or that you practice your interview skills. Or if you're making your resume, you realize, hey, I don't really have a whole lot to put on here. He can direct you towards internships and other opportunities so you can spice up your resume a little bit better and actually get the job. We also have access to a special financial aid specialist so that any of your paperwork, if it's missing, they can give you a hand and make sure that all your financial aid goes through and that your college runs smoothly. We also have other groups. You can be a peer mentor or a student ambassador. If things aren't going well in your classes, we actually offer supplemental instruction as well. So these are all things that you can take advantage of while being a part of ASAP. It's really, our goal is to help you reach your goals.
Whoa. I need time to process all this information.
Excuse me? Mm-hmm. Can I talk to you for a second? I'm still not getting it.
That's all right, come on. Let me tell you about a few of the other students I've worked with and how they've benefited from being a part of ASAP. I remember this one student. They had a really hard time after the first semester in college. Their home life was not great. They were suffering. They couldn't get work, and their academics. They had a lot of pressure going on, and they were having a really hard time fighting. So I made sure that they were introduced to the counseling center, so they could talk to somebody about what was going on and how to best deal with it. I also showed them where single stop was, so that way they had resources to be able to take away some of the financial burden that they experienced. They were able to actually get through that semester, and they're just about on the cusp of graduating right now. Another student I worked with came in on fire, right, lit the place up. But as you know, sometimes academics is not really enough to get you the best job possible. So I introduced him to a mentor so that he was able to work on a lab research project involving extending the life and quality of batteries. So now he's got lab experience as well. So now he went over to York College as a chemist. He's getting scholarships and he's doing great. Same thing for another student. They wanted to go into the medical field. They ended up switching into pharmaceutical science and went over to York as well, again with more scholarships. Just because they took advantage of the services here and didn't just do their academics. I remember one student, this was a bit of a turnaround. He started off in the forensic science major. And you know, 3/4 of the way through the semester, I asked him how things were going. He was bombing every math and science class he had. So I said, well, why? Why would you want to be interested in forensic science if you don't like it? You know, you're not doing well in it. Well, he liked CSI. Right? So he thought it was going to be just like a TV show and didn't realize the amount of work that was entailed with it. So after a long discussion, we decided that the criminal justice major was the best fit for him. He was still able to be in law enforcement, but without all the math and science classes. Happily graduated at this point and we're doing well.
That sounds great, man. I was wondering if you had any student stories that a student could share with me.
Actually, yeah, Freddie, why don't you come on? Why don't you share a little bit of your story?
Your character. All right, I got you. So, you know, when I first got here, honestly, all I wanted to do was leave. I still kind of want to leave anyway, but that's besides the point. When it came to it, I just came onto the campus, I went to class, went home. The only priorities I had was sleeping, eating, and responding to some people. But outside of that, it was like, I'm not trying to stay here for 3 hours and sit in these classrooms. But at some point, I did have to come to the conclusion that the world outside is way more competitive, and there's certain skills that they're going to be looking for. For example, presentation skills, a big thing that companies might be looking for. So when it came down to it, I contacted my student manager and said, hey, I'm not ready for, well, life after college. How do I get prepared? And that got me connected to the career development team, to some of the other teams within ASAP, to the Student Government Association, SGA. You're going to be seeing them throughout the entire semester. But more importantly, it got me a network of people that I not only can use now while I'm here working in ASAP, but outside of ASAP. And honestly, going into John Jay, I feel way more accomplished because I have that network.
Wow, man, that sounds fantastic. I mean, when you put it like that, after we passed it up, right? I have to tell my friends about this. Hey guys, come over here for a second. I want to talk to you. Since we're going to be here for a while, you might as well just earn a degree and have something to show for it, right?
So you're saying that you want us to join ASAP? Why?
Because I know we did okay before, but college here is serious business. And the more support we'll have, the better off we'll be. Besides, I think these guys are really have our backs.
I kind of like this whole thing, having all this support and backup in college.
You know what, Sabrina? I think ASAP offers a lot and it's a good idea. We should definitely join ASAP.
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, good choice. Some people don't make the right choice. I don't like those people, but you made the right choice, so it's all good. Here you go. Welcome to ASAP.
Hey man, what about my shirt?
You asking too much?
You would want to fit here. How about that? Congratulations on your decision to join ASAP. I'm glad I said we have plenty of tools to offer you. It's going to be your job to use them now. Right? But before you know it, you're going to be well on your way out of here and ready to graduate.
And remember,
ASAP is more than a metro card.
Oh, I hope that you guys loved our dramatization of what ASAP is more than. These are a group of our students who have been working with us over the course of the summer putting this together. And I'm hoping not only was it, you got some little bit of comedy out of it, but you also got a lot of great information from it. That's part of what, again, one of our responsibilities to ensure that we provide you with as much information to help you towards the direction of success that you'd like to receive. But again, at the end of the day, and most importantly, you have to be an active participant. If you're not actively involved with, what was going to be offered to you, then you're kind of just showing up, and just always remember that, going to class is part of the responsibility you have, and going to college. But what you have to take advantage of is what's being presented to you, staying aware of those things and taking advantage of them. It was mentioned about, resumes, okay? Now, everybody in the room, for the most part, you may have a resume, but you may not really be educated about a resume. You may not really have the type of information that needs to go on a resume that is going to be suited for the direction that you're planning on going into. That's part of our responsibility to make you aware of how that needs to look, the type of information, things of that nature. But again, you can't have anything on your resume if you're not actively doing anything except going to class. So as it was mentioned during the presentation, going to class is very important, but also getting engaged and getting involved and getting exposure is going to be just as vital. They kind of go hand in hand. Your academics and your career development, they actually go hand in hand. One without the other, it's kind of like, you lean into one side too heavy. It's kind of like the guy who only does curls in this arm and leaves the other alone. You got a big Popeye joint over here and nothing happening over here. You got to do them simultaneously in order for them to be effective for you to work. At this time, I would like to have our students introduce themselves, tell you who they are, their status is, and what their major is. You can start down at the very end of this.
All right. So my name is not Freddie. My name is Michael. Done here, graduated, and going into John Jay studying criminal justice/law.
Hi, my name is Lisa. I recently graduated and my major here was liberal arts. I am going to transfer to Baruch for business communications.
Hello everyone, my name is Michelle. I'm currently a sophomore at PCC and I'm majoring in health science.
Hey guys, my name is Deshaun. I'm a recent graduate from Queensborough Community College. I study business administration here. I'll be transferring to Baruch in the fall, study accounting.
Hi, I'm Anastasia. I recently graduated as well. I was a health science major here, and I'm going to be transferring to Hunter in May.
Computer science and information security.
Hello everybody, my name is Sergio. I'm studying architecture, and I have one more semester left here in QCC.
And our student manager for the day.
How are we doing? I'm Matthew Concal, one of the student managers over at ASAP.
Now, if you recall during Matthew's talking about some of the students he's worked with, a couple of things stood out for me. But during also when he talked about the different benefits that we have in ASAP, one of those things that I think is really, really important that a lot of people don't really take advantage of or see one of the strongest benefits is priority registration. It was already hinted at that if you are a student who has to work, you may have some other outside obligations, that you need to have a schedule that's going to best fit your needs in order to be able to fulfill those obligations, but also to not feel all stressed out about it. You have enough time to travel and get where you need to go. I think one of the people that's on our that's part of our production today who can best talk about that will be Sergio.
Yes, definitely. Priority registration. As a ASAP member, you have access to enrolling in your classes before anybody else in the campus has access to that. I'll tell you why that's important. Coming into Queensborough, I was working. I'm sure many of you are working too. And something that we will stumble upon is this work and education balance that we want to try to achieve. It's definitely not easy. And so with priority registration as an ASAP student, you're able to register, I believe it's 2 to 3 days earlier than everybody else on the campus, which really puts you at an advantage. If you have a boss maybe that's not too flexible with your schedule and you have to be at work in the morning, you definitely want to get that class in the evening. And so if you're able to get into that before anybody else and be sure of that, then that's going to be really helpful. Also, that's only available to the ASAP students. So people who are maybe right next to you right now, you might find them in your classrooms with you. So it's also a great opportunity to sort of connect with the rest of the ASAP club and, you know, just make friends and stuff like that. So it's something that's really, really helpful. You're going to want to keep an eye out on Office 365. Although that's not the only way that the school contacts you, there's also your advisor. That's how they get most of the word out to you. So you want to be sure that you're checking your Office 365 on the regular, so you're not missing things. And yeah, that's what I have to say about priority registration. It's really it's a great perk.
Thank you. There was also mentioned about that there's a every semester, spring and fall, there is a club fair that occurs on campus. Part of the conversation during this presentation, they talked about clubs getting involved and so forth. You have that same opportunity. I think that Wednesday, 27th, I think the first 27th or the 20th, the first Wednesday of the semester, the club fair will be occurring. Now it's going to happen at 12 o'clock from 12 to 2. It's going to be right here out what they call the Humanities Quad. You guys will have an opportunity to go and check out some of the clubs and see what tickles your fancy per se, and a way for you to get involved. I think Michael talked about SBA; they will be out there. If you are a STEM major, we have so many different clubs and so forth that are available to you. But again, you have to be an active participant. We talked about the different peer groups that we have with ASAP. I would like for Anastasia to give a little background on her experience of being a student ambassador thus far, but also to talk about how her transition, from high school to college was, and what kind of stumbling blocks might you have incurred, and how did things work out for you?
I'll first talk about my transition from high school to college. My transition was pretty easy because ASAP was there for me. And with my student manager, Vicky O'Shea, if you guys might have her at some point, she gave us a grad plan. Like, you guys all get it, but you guys get a grad plan, and it tells you like what classes to take at a certain time, like in the fall and the spring. And that's like your guideline. That's your holy grail of like what classes to take. You don't have to. Some of the classes you can switch out because it's like certain other classes. But anyway. It's like, that's the one thing that I definitely really much so enjoyed, because when I first got here, I was like, I know I want to be a health science major, but I don't know what I want to do in terms of classes. I'm like, I don't know what classes to take. I'm like, I was so confused, but having that grad plan definitely helped me, and just being like, okay, it's like, took a load off of me. I didn't have to worry about what classes to take. I just look at the grad plan and be like, okay, this is the class I take, okay, cool, sign up for it. In terms of being a student ambassador, it was definitely an interesting experience, because I definitely got to meet some people. Like, there's me and 5 other people, right?
Yeah.
There's like 6 of us. So it was fun meeting them and just talking to them. It's like, because I didn't really talk to many people when I first got here. I was like, I'm just gonna go to class and come home. Like, that's how Michael was. But being a student ambassador definitely helped me come out of my shell, like talk to more people and stuff like that, because we had to stand in front of not as many students as it is right now, but we had to stand in front of students and present like what ASAP is and like a general synopsis of it. And also we go to workshops in the city, and we get to meet other student ambassadors from other colleges that have ASAP. And it was definitely fun, because they were a fun group and a very interesting group and a very weird group, and it was a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed it, and also the game was free for me, so it was always fun. Usually. So yeah, it was definitely a fun experience. I liked it, and we make a lot of phone calls, and like I may have called some of you people saying, oh, you're eligible for ASAP, you should come in and stuff like that. And yeah, that was much it about being a student ambassador. But I definitely suggest you do something on campus. Don't just go to class and then go home. Do something on campus. It looks good on your resume. Do something.
The reality is, I have high hopes for everyone in the room to kind of hear what our students are saying to you in regards to like getting exposure, getting experience. But I've been doing this for like 9 years. Some of y'all want to hear it, some of y'all not. Okay. One of the things that I do know is that college is a choice. Okay, you made a choice to be here. And my belief is that if you made a choice to want to be here, take advantage of everything that's going to be available to you. You have complete control on what's going to happen to you, good, bad, or indifferent. Our program's responsibility is to ensure that we're doing our best to ensure that we're making you accessible to things that will help you be successful. If you want to take advantage of those things, they're going to be made available. What we can't do is chase you down. We cannot do that. We can make everything available to you, but you're going to have to be actively in charge of what you're going to do. Now, Matthew had talked about meeting with the student manager. I'm big on, and Anastasia just talked about meeting with her advisor in regards to taking classes and things of that nature. I want you guys to understand that you should be running your meetings with your managers. That's my opinion, but I think you have to be an active participant. Your advisors are here to guide you. They're here to let you know the types of classes you need to take in order for you to fulfill certain requirements to be able to get your degree when you're here. Okay? But I think it's important for you to also be an active participant in it. Maybe Matt can shed a little bit more light in that regard.
I was going to say, I know for myself and a lot of the other student managers, we make our appointments available on a program called Starfish, which you'll learn how to use. We do not set your appointments. We'll email you and say, hey, my schedule is open for the month of September. But then it's up to you. You've got to log on, pick the day and time that's best for you. That's your responsibility. Like Stephen was saying, we don't chase you down. Make sure that you make those appointments.